ladies and gentlemen, you're watching House Sparks Mega Worldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show, etc., etc. Never feed your cat a circus peanut, because if you do, you will find something in the litter box that looks vaguely like this. For real. Like, Trump looks like microwave dog shit. And look, he's old, he's been traveling, cut himself some fucking slack. Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. I should put up the nut warning on this. I beg your pardon. Where did it go? I need to put up an yeah, there it is. Yeah, thank you. Sorry about that. Sorry everyone. Sorry everyone. Sorry about that. Sorry. Now, if I may, I'll remove it from. There you go. This guy. I got to rebuild my button that allows me to turn that on and off. People around him have just given up on, I guess, managing his looks, or he's shooing them away because he's a nutcase or an asshole, or he's losing his mind, or all the above. It's his ego and his tapioca brain. Is not allowed. Like, people are going, sir, your hair. He's like, my hair's perfect. Like, it's getting into that category. Anyways, he's being interviewed by Martha McCallum on Fox News. Here we go. Uh-oh. Why is this? Doesn't want to play. I'm being subverted. Hold on one second. I'm gonna copy this. I got remedies. You don't even worry about it. Don't worry your pretty little head about it, kids. I will have it covered. Here you go. Let's see. Open this up to theater mode. Play.
Good to have you with us. It's been quite a couple of days here in the United Kingdom. Last night you called the dinner one of the highest honors of your life. You were
Jesus Christ. You're president of the United States, and one of the highest honors of your life is to supplicate yourself. Is that the word? Yeah, I'm looking for before our former rulers.
Clearly moved and impressed by the dinner, and you were sitting next to King Charles.
Yes.
And one of the things
and he's still tearing up from the smell
that he talked about was standing together for Ukraine. It was on a list of things that he was thanking the United States for. I'm curious what you spoke with him about, and did he speak to you about?
Sorry, you think he talked about policy? He was just like, he wants to be a member of the royal family. That's what this shit is about.
His feelings about the war in Ukraine at all?
He did. He spoke about many things. We were together for a long time, really 2 days.
Yeah.
Wow, whole 2 days, you don't say.
I just left him.
Yeah, she knows. You're still in England when this is going on. She knows what building you're in.
And he's a great person. I knew him as Prince Charles originally. And
Did you? When was that?
now he's King Charles.
Is he? When did that happen? Like, honestly, I got to keep up.
And the people love him in this country. And he went through, pretty tough stuff. And
You mean the death of his ex-wife, or the fact that his brother's the only person closer to Epstein than his brother is you?
medically.
Oh, okay, it's his cancer treatment.
And he's doing great. But he's just a great person. I've known him for...
Is he great though? It's great though. It's great, just great. So it's good to know so he used to be a prince and now he's the king. You don't say. And he's doing great, and he was great, and you knew him before, and now you know him today. So you met him before, and you're back, and you've seen. Okay, cool. Is somebody writing all this down?
a long time, always said the same thing. He was a tremendous man who really stepped into a very tough position. Having to follow Queen Elizabeth is very...
royally decreed is how a monarchy works.
I guess she's got the all-time record, probably always will have, but she was in there for like 70 years or something, and to follow that is pretty tough. And she was really
So they're tiny shoes to fill.
beloved.
Was there anything in particular that he wanted to...
She asked you about Ukraine, dickhead. And the politics of actual shit that's happening in the world. Did he smell like almonds? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
Communicate to you about his feelings about things?
I think that he was more interested in trade. You know, he loves the environment too. He likes to talk about the environment.
Does he?
But he was more interested in trade than anything else. And we're working a trade deal with the UK, which is going to be a good deal for both.
I thought you'd already signed it.
And we're working it with the Prime Minister and his various representatives. And I think it's going to be, a great deal for both. We're doing tremendous trade deals for our country. We have unbelievable investment coming into the United States.
He's going to say 17 trillion, fucking the most monopoly money we've ever seen.
And I guess because of the election, but also because of the tariffs. Without the tariffs, it would be a whole different story. We have
Spider, send a clip of that to CSL. We'll take a look.
more than $17 trillion coming in.
In just like weeks. They're just dumping it. We're doubling our GDP in an afternoon.
As an example, Biden in his last year had $250 billion. So just a tiny fraction of that. And I don't think there's ever been anything like this. $17 trillion and more by the time we finish.
I want to talk to you more about that. But
Yeah, because obviously, it's going to jack inflation like fucking crazy, because that amount of expenditure and that amount of money poured into a situation would have an inflationary effect on all goods. But
you spoke last night in your toast about the relationship between the United States and the UK, the fight against tyranny and fascism. We now have this situation where you've had 23 Russian drones go pretty deep into Polish territory. Latvia, Romania also saying that they've had incursions. Swedish Air Force.
oh, Martha, nobody gave you the memo. You're not supposed to ask serious questions. Bless her heart. I gotta I gotta give her a round of applause. Everybody, Martha McCallum, fighting the good fight, trying to ask actual questions.
First went up to
It's probably why he gets irritated with her at one point, I think, right?
into the Baltic Sea to chase away Russian fighter planes. What is Putin doing?
I'm disappointed in Putin. I'll tell you.
Are ya?
I'm very disappointed in him. I settled
Well, that'll do it.
7 wars at least, but I settled 7 wars, all of
He settled 7, especially Azerbaijan and Albania. Finally.
which they said were not settlable.
Was there a big fucking stone obelisk at each one of the sites where you had to bring peace? Like, this is not a settlable war.
And I got them done. And the ones I'm not going to bore you going over a long list, but
It's only 7. Give it a shot. Just name them. Go ahead. See if you can remember them. I know you'll remember India, big country. But I doubt you'll say Pakistan. There's a chance you might say India and Pasadena at this point.
they were wars that were very tough to settle. Even the Congo in Africa, Rwanda, going on for many, many years.
Still going on.
Almost 10 million people killed, settled. Got them all done. And
Not settled. Not done.
the one I thought was going to be easiest was going to be Russia, Ukraine, because of my relationship with President Putin. So I'm disappointed.
Yeah. Does he know this? Is he emotionally hurt by how disappointed you are? Have you told him?
If you listen to some people, the ones like in Poland were shot down and they fell into Polish territory, but they shouldn't have been that close anyway.
No, they were over Polish territory and were shot down.
They were drones. And
Do you think it was a mistake? The Polish prime minister said it was not a mistake, that they were intentionally into Polish territory.
I can't comment on whether it was a mistake or not. They should
Because he hasn't been paying attention.
have been there, let's face it. But
They shouldn't have been there.
supposedly they were disabled. They disable drones today. That's the great attack on a drone is disabling it.
Is it really? Is that how it's done? What do you do? Make it walk on crutches? What does it use a ramp to enter a building? You disable them? The big attack is you disable a drone with what? Machine gun fire like they do with the Shahed drones over fucking Kyiv? They disabled it with what did they use? A fucking Jewish disabling ray from space? God damn.
And they fall all over the place. So
They do. So that's what it was. They disabled them over Western Ukraine. They just fall into Poland.
Let's hope it was that. I mean, I'd like to think the better, but I'm very disappointed in that. I thought that would be the easiest of all of them to get done. And that.
Why? Why would you think it would be easy? Because he owed you something? Or you promised him something?
It turns out to be the most difficult. The relationship between...
Yeah, you're right. Israel and Gaza is going fucking gangbusters. They'll be breaking ground in your fucking hotel any day now.
President Putin and President Zelensky is a horrible one. I mean, you know, it's a lot to do with relationships.
Is it? Yeah, like the relationship between Putin's rape squads and the dead women and children in Bucha, for example. Like those kind of relationships. Fuck you.
They truly dislike each other. I want to use that word rather than a stronger word, but they really do. They
hate
each other.
Like it just like I don't want to use a word like hate, but they hate each other. Well, then what does that mean? Like, is this just another example of tapioca brain impulse control?
And
what else am I going to say that won't piss off Captain Pee-Pee Tape and make him release all the information he has about me?
We'll see what happens. I think.
Yeah, we will, I guess, because time moves forward.
We're going to get a solution.
Are we?
I was unhappy with the European Union, or let's say NATO, when I saw that they were buying oil from Russia.
NATO's not buying oil from Russia. There are European countries that are, but NATO is not purchasing oil from Russia for NATO military stuff. Gibberish.
I mean, I'm supposed to be coming in with the United States, and you know, I took a tough stand on, as you know, India, because they were buying oil. And ultimately, if oil prices go down, or if Russia's not selling oil, they have no choice but to settle. And when the European...
Wait, you have no... What? Who's settling? Wait a minute. You mean Russia has no...
Down, or if Russia's not selling oil, they have no choice but to settle.
I have no choice but to settle. So you're Russian in this argument.
And when the European Union nations, or the NATO nations, because they're similar, very similar, when
yes, not complete overlap, but sure.
They're buying oil from Russia. That's not the greatest thing. That's not the deal. And I let it be known, and people were surprised to hear that, but they were doing it quietly and slyly. And
he means like Romania and Hungary, which are his fucking buddies.
You can't do that. You know, if you're going to win, you're going to have to not buy oil from Russia. And but we're going to see how it turns out. I hope it turns out well. You know, it doesn't affect us because, like, we have a big ocean in between. But
it doesn't affect us. Yeah, this is where America first came from originally. That phrase came from people who thought we shouldn't have gotten involved with World War II because you know, the Jews had it coming in the concentration camps, I guess, and it's a long way away anyways. I mean, we could be there, but it'll take us a while.
You're losing millions of people, and they're mostly soldiers, Russian soldiers.
I think just over 1 million and of Russians, though.
Soldiers, Ukrainian soldiers. Last week, almost 8,000 soldiers were killed, and this week...
Yes, 7,000 something. He says 7,000, so almost 8,000 is just his... Jesus.
Ridiculous war. 8,000 people. And again, I want to see if I can get it done.
But if I can't, you're just going to have to keep losing 8,000 people a week, because what can I do? You know? Force, you know, move in arms so that it ends it quickly?
It's tougher than I thought, but I've done a lot of tough things. It's so interesting.
Is it?
Settled wars that were absolutely, there was no chance of getting, we're going on for 31, one was 31 years, one was 34 years, one was 36 years, going on for years and years. I got it done.
No, you didn't.
This is one that should be settled. It should be settled.
Prime Minister Starmer has agreed to fly RAF jets over Poland to protect them. And back in August, you said we might help by air. You would consider helping in the air. What does that mean? Does that mean F-16s? Does it mean Patriot missile defense systems? How would you help?
I love that she's asking real questions. This is fucking shocking. You can tell he was not ready for this at all. He was expecting like to basically be giving a Yelp review of Buckingham Palace. For real.
Well, we are helping intelligence-wise, but when I said help by air, I'm talking about security after the war is settled. So after the war is settled, we would help secure the peace.
Well, again, that means it isn't settled if you have to secure the peace.
And I think ultimately that'll happen. But yeah.
Great. Yeah, ultimately, what, in the year 4112?
You know, there's a question of whether or not President Putin wanted a piece of it or all of it. You know that.
No, there isn't. He wants all of it.
And it was never going to happen when I was president. Never.
Apparently it was, because they continued to plan for it. And you weren't going to, no matter what, you weren't going to be president forever. So what was the idea? They're going to wait until you left to be as a bro and then attack?
And there was never even a thought of it. And it didn't happen. For 4 years, it didn't happen.
They kept the Donbass and continued to fight all during his presidency. Why the fuck did you have to send them javelins if there was no fighting? Why was there a whole dust-up about arms that Congress had already allocated to Ukraine that you stopped if there wasn't anything going on? Dumbass.
Happened. There was never a threat. I think the bad performance put on by these people in Afghanistan had a lot to do with it, because it showed such gross incompetence. But we're going to get it done one way or the other. We're going to get it done. Again, very disappointed when they say sanctions. I don't mind sanctions, but when I do sanctions and people are buying oil from a person they shouldn't be buying oil from,
I saw your post
it
the
makes
other
it
day.
much different.
You said you go first on China. You said we're doing sanctions.
Yes, which I think is called leading from behind.
50% against India because they're the biggest or
That's
second
right.
biggest
And
buyer of Russian
we did
oil.
that, and that's a big
Right.
step.
So when you talked to Starmer, did you say, let's get everyone on board? If you guys do sanctions on India and China, then we'll do that too.
Well, if they did sanctions as an example, or tariffs, or whatever you want to call it, if they did that on China, I think the war...
Sanctions and tariffs are different. Sanctions are about stuff from them going out to other countries. Tariffs are about stuff from them coming into our country. Dumbass. They're different.
War would maybe end because China is by far the biggest purchaser of oil from Russia. And I think they have other powers over Russia, too. I'm speaking with President Xi, as you know, on Friday, having to do with TikTok and also trade, and we're very close to deals on all of it.
Uh-huh.
And my relationship with China is very good. You know, we have a trade deal with them. We had a very good meeting the other day.
No, we don't. It's got like, whatever, are we still at like 45 to 65% tariffs, except on stuff that Ivanka sells?
And it sounds like they've approved TikTok, and TikTok is a tremendous amount of money for the United States. So that...
No, it isn't. TikTok, without the Chinese algorithm, is fucking Vine.
was nice. But we'll see how that all works. But if Europe did something with respect to China, I think China would probably maybe force an end to the war.
Is there any
How?
openness to that? Did Starmer say they would consider that?
Well, I would have done something too. But again, you can't have Europe buying oil from Russia and then have me getting upset with China because they're buying oil from Russia. I was a little surprised, and I wasn't
Hungary
supposed to
gets
find out.
75%. Slovakia also
Well,
gets
that's
in their
true.
NATO
That's
countries.
true.
They get a lot
Yeah, maybe talk to Melania about that.
Hungary does.
of oil from Russia. It's an
That's right.
interesting.
But it's not only those two countries. And those two countries you sort of
LNG.
understand because they actually do have a pretty close relationship, if you look. But it's other countries too. And you just can't do that. You know, the United States has been a sucker long enough in the world in terms of trade. Now we're doing unbelievably well, and we're making more money than we've ever made.
Nonsense.
And it's going to continue as long as we have the beautiful tariffs. I always said my favorite word. I made it my fourth favorite word, as you know, because love, religion, wife, family, etc.
and then
Fifth now, I guess. Etc. also.
I got hit. No, I got hit by the press. I said it's my favorite. Well, what about religion? What about family? And
No, they didn't say that. Paula White and the rest of them said God or Jesus should be that, not religion.
So anyway, so I make it.
Look, the Pat Robertsoning of Donald Trump is happening right before our fucking eyes. I used to say it was my favorite word, but of course, that's after God and Jesus, and family and wife and all these things, of course, whatever. But I was being, of course, facetious.
My fourth favorite word.
You said in the news conference that you're just close to a deal with the UK. That was the first deal that was made, at least the framework, but it's still not finalized. A lot of people wondering when you're going to see those finalized.
We made the deal with the UK, and they'd like to make adjustments to it.
On steel.
Then you haven't made a deal yet. If they'd like to make adjustments, then there's no deal. God damn.
Yeah, we made a deal with UK. It's a done deal, complete. In fact, I signed it, as you remember. It was signed in the Oval Office.
No, it wasn't. You did not. It was a framework, fuckhead.
Yeah.
But they would like to see if they could make a little bit better.
Were you open to that?
I like them. We're making a lot of money.
So they're at 25% right now. You're going to go lower than that for them?
They're actually at 50% for steel and aluminum. And I want to see them. They're having a lot of difficulty.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
I want to ask you
and
about
I know
that.
you're of Scottish heritage, at least partially. So
I am.
Congratulations.
Yep,
it's a good heritage.
Highlanders, thank you very much.
It's a good heritage.
Congratulations. It's a good heritage. You know what it is? It's the warmth. That's what strikes me in these conversations. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm watching Lake Wobegon days.
Starmer's under a lot of pressure, which you just mentioned. Immigration, very similar issues to what we're seeing at home. Immigration,
Well, we've stopped it.
crime, all of it. Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
And yet fentanyl is still as widely available as it ever has been.
So do you think his government will survive?
Yeah, Instagram is down for a bit, Andrea, and CSL. Like, it just kicks out and only gives you an hour. Sometimes it lets it run and sometimes it doesn't. It's no worries.
Having spent a few days here and gotten a close look at what's going on?
I just think he's a really fine person. Him and his...
Great. Awesome. All right, who gives a shit about deals then and how what the United States is doing financially or our allies are doing financially? Fuck that, If you like him, it's good enough for me.
wife.
You liked Jeffrey Epstein and Roy Cohn. What could possibly go wrong?
You get to know people. I think he's a very fine guy. He's more liberal than me. I think he should take a very strong stand on the immigration. It's really hurting him badly. I think he has to open up the North Sea. They have some of the best oil in the world, and they have a lot of it. And they made it impossible for people to drill, and I think that's what causes their energy price. They have a big energy problem here with the pricing, whereas our pricing is way down. We're going to be close to $2 a gallon for the cars very soon.
That would be good.
Oh, yeah, totally. Like, we already were, but we're not, except we didn't, except we aren't.
We were up at $4 and $5, and when you bring energy down, you bring inflation. Look, I inherited the worst inflation ever.
No, you didn't. No. Biden actually did. Biden actually, the result of COVID was what caused inflation to spike as the highest it had ever been. And Biden brought it down all during his presidency. You didn't get the worst inflation ever. As a matter of fact, between Biden and Obama, you can keep your fucking trap shut about inheriting a bad financial situation.
As I just said at the news conference, they say it's 48 years, and I'll accept that, but I think it's ever. And we now have very low inflation. We have great production. And when these factories that are being built all over the country start opening up, we're going to have numbers that like nobody's ever seen before.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you mean the AI factories? Yeah, I can't wait for all those coal miners to get new jobs mining artificial intelligence nuggets.
When do you think that people are going to feel that? Because we do see polling that...
When are people going to feel that?
Doesn't poll well in the economy. The recent Fox polling said...
Ouch. Oh. Ah. Ha. Oh. Ah. That's a how.
52% say the economy is worse under this administration. You've got unemployment at the highest rate in 4 years. Groceries made a big jump in the last term. So how is that? you're looking forward with these plans that you just talked about. When will people feel that, Mr.
Well,
Trump?
when the factories
President Trump?
start opening. I mean, right now we're building them, and
When the factories start opening. Let's consider that for just a moment, shall we? That the economy, inflation being a monetary issue as it is, and shortening supply chains being a way of making most of the items that will be made here more expensive, not cheaper, just closer to home, and therefore paying for jobs. But that will also drive up inflation as well, because even if you do add a bunch of manufacturing jobs to make iPhones here, the iPhone gets more expensive. The wages to make those kind of things is far more expensive than making them overseas or in Mexico or someplace else, which also drives up prices because you have to have more money in circulation because of that. So none of this is a recipe, even if all of it works, for bringing down prices. It just isn't. So the idea that people are going to feel it is nonsense.
Fox polling, I have to tell you, I've told you before, it's the worst polling I've ever had. It's always, I mean, during the election, they had me winning by a little bit, not by a massive amount. And Fox polling, I've told Rupert Murdoch.
All right, well then, all these people who are upset and think you're fucking up, just tell them they don't matter. Tell them they're in the minority. That the polling, that, it's not 52%, it's 36%, and fuck those people. Go ahead. Just say that. Have the fucking balls to say that, if you can find them.
Go get yourself a new pollster because he stinks. And this is for years now. But I will say that we have all of these things are being built. Car companies are moving back. We lost 50%, 54% of we were the automobile capital of the world. And all of a sudden.
Yeah. When 6% of the world owned cars.
They got robbed by China, Japan, Germany, all these countries. Those companies, they're
robbed by what? Them making cars?
They're all coming back now to the United States. They're building.
They wouldn't be coming back. A Japanese car company is Japanese. A German car company is German. What do you mean coming back? Like you're not trying to save fucking GM. This isn't even about Tesla anymore because you basically have broken it off with Elon. So like you give a rat fuck about American car companies. I mean, it'd be one thing. Like he never even touts Ford and GM and Chrysler or any of the like any of the big three or any of the American companies. He just is talking about Japanese cars being made here.
Car companies and factories all over. They're coming back from Mexico and Canada.
No, they are not.
We lost a lot to Mexico. We lost a lot to Canada. They're all coming.
No, they're not coming back
because of the tariffs.
No, they aren't. And besides, don't we have a fucking trade deal with already in place? And if you're right,
without the tariffs,
what was the USMCA? I thought it was the greatest trade deal ever negotiated.
Different story, but they're coming back because of the tariffs. And you're going to see that kick in probably in a year or so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably. So, yeah, don't mention it until then, even if you don't see these fucking factories. Hold on. I got to say, like, new car factories in the U.S. See, he's in the Hyundai place. Rivian in Georgia, Panasonic for EV plants. Yeah. Yeah, the only expansion is in electric cars, and they're curtailing that. Let's see. Trump claimed auto plant growth, but evidence shows reallocations at existing facilities rather than new construction. Yeah, they're just building different shit or shifting what they're building. We have automobile plants being built like nobody's ever seen it. They're going up fast. Ask for evidence. White House cited recent expansion plan announcements by Hyundai and Stellantis and Honda. However, automotive industry experts say Trump exaggerated. In most cases, these announcements represent reallocation of investments at existing facilities, not newly built plants, and they may or may not come to fruition. It's premature for the president to take credit for plant expansion given his short time in office. North American auto industry as in plants are planned years in advance. They found no data to confirm that the spate of recent announcement amounts to record-setting level of automotive manufacturing investment. Gibberish. Fucking gibberish.
So,
But we're doing well anyway. Look, we have right now, when you look at our numbers, the investment that's being made in our country is, again, Biden's at 250 billion,
right.
and we're at 17 trillion.
Yeah.
That's
a big number.
No, nobody.
Yeah, gibberish. It's fucking gibberish. They're made up numbers. Nobody believes it.
Nobody's ever heard of a number like that.
Right, because it's fiction.
There's never been a number like that.
So, with regard to people's feeling about the economy and the tariffs, and some polls show that people are concerned about the tariffs as well.
That's only because they don't understand the word tariff. I mean, look, again.
Yeah, people are stupid. That is the problem. I thought he loved the uneducated, but apparently not.
We have all this money, trillions of dollars pouring into our country.
It's just pouring in. It doesn't even have anywhere to go. I mean, my pockets are full of it. I don't know if you got this is a 5 that it just like I don't even know where it came from. Actually, I washed a pair of pants and it was still in the pair of pants, so that's where it came from. But I'm speaking allegorically, obviously.
Only because of the tariffs. I mean, I'd like to say because of November 5th, the election. Mm-hmm. But it's really because of the tariffs. And how do people
look at what? I mean, what? How can you argue with that? Trillions pouring in because of tariffs. Well, that settles it. Fuck. All you assholes who are worried about rent and food and the fuel and your job security, stop being a bunch of assholes. Trillions are pouring in.
Avoid the tariffs they build in this country. No different than what China did to us for years. No different than what Europe did to us for years.
Well, it would be very different, especially with China, meaning we would have to devalue labor in this country to fucking zero because of just the volume difference.
Europe was as bad as China. No.
Nope. No. American electronics and toys and plastics are not being made in fucking Europe.
Different than what other people did to us, but we have the advantage. We actually have a big advantage on tariffs. You know, the advantage is they want to be here. They have to be here. Right. They don't have to be in other countries.
Well, the way you change that is by fucking up our consumer base.
And that's why we're doing, I mean, these are numbers that nobody's ever seen before.
And they still aren't seeing.
So it's a very, very important thing. And the only people that are against tariffs are people that are in favor of other countries. For instance, we have a lawsuit. Well, it's financed and sponsored by people from other countries because we're doing well against countries that were ripping us off. Martha, we were ripped off for years by other countries, including China.
Ripped off. He means there's a trade deficit. By the way, Trump thinks that if a person in a Mercedes at an off-ramp can't sell as many oranges to the person selling them on the side of the road as that person buys, that's unfair and they're being ripped off.
And, you know, last term, I had a tremendously successful term last term.
Yeah, if you don't count the hundreds of thousands of dead because you thought a contagious disease would go away with the sunshine.
But this is much better. We're doing much better.
Nope. No, we're not. Nope.
If you look at regulations, I cut regulations more than...
Yeah, great. So everybody's congratulations. Enjoy your lead poisoning.
Anybody else. We got the biggest tax cuts we've ever gotten. I've taken those tax cuts and expanded them, extended them and expanded them. And the numbers that we're seeing are the best, I think, that we've ever seen.
Yeah, no. Look, even if you count like the tax benefit of this year, it won't show up until people file their taxes next year, fuckwad.
You talk about the hundreds of billions of dollars that have come in because of the tariffs. Would you consider, where's that money going to go? Would you consider giving it back to taxpayers while they wait for...
Are you kidding? He needs that money to patch the hole in the fucking deficit created by his tax cut.
For some of the things that you just talked about to kick in, is that an option?
Politically, that's a nice thing to do, but you can do that and you can also pay down debt because we're talking about very big numbers.
So which do you like better?
Both, maybe. I mean, I could see both. I could giving something back because, look, these people have been forced to suffer for years by being ripped off by other countries, including China, and frankly, including the European Union. The European Union was as bad as China. Now they're treating.
Also, what the fuck are you talking about? Like the idea that they don't take car companies because they have enough car companies, like they don't take our cars because they have enough car companies or something like that, or that France doesn't buy wine and cheese from us or some shit, is, or we can't sell pasta to Italy. Gee, you think it might have something to do with the saturated market?
Treating us very nicely. You know, I signed a deal with the European Union. They have to pay us $950 billion. They have to buy $750.
No, they don't. No, they do not. Nope. It's literally, we looked at that deal. It's just a marker of how much they're expected to buy, which they were planning on buying anyways. It's zero change. And by the way, I think the number is actually 600, and notice how he added 50%.
$1 billion in our energy. They have to pay $200 billion for something else.
For something else. What would that thing be? So obviously you're the greatest deal maker in the world. You clearly have a handle on all the details of these things. $200 billion of what? What does the European Union have to buy $200 billion of from us? Fucking soybeans? Because they're not. Rice? Nope. Corn? Ethanol? No. What are they getting? Postcards from fucking Yosemite?
I mean, nobody's ever seen Japan. They're going to pay us $550 billion.
No, they are not going to pay us $550 billion. They are absolutely not going to pay us $550 billion.
In order to reduce the tariffs, just to reduce them down to 15%. Well, to get them down from 30 to 15, but the 30 was just set by me. We get it down to 15. They used to pay nothing. They'd send millions of cars into the United States.
No, they didn't. Most of the Japanese cars that are sold in the United States are made here.
And they'd pay nothing. You know what we paid? You know why we paid nothing? Because they wouldn't take our cars. We didn't have one car sold in Japan for 5 years. They didn't
yeah, that's because of the size of the roads
take in our cars. And yet we took
and the efficiency standards.
millions of their cars. And they're a friend of mine. Look, they're a country we get along with.
Right.
I got especially Abe, who
They've also had like a fucking buckled economy since 1990.
was killed, unfortunately. He was assassinated, Prime Minister Abe. He was like a great friend of mine.
No, he wasn't.
He actually said to me, I said, look,
You
we're
guys did not shoot the shit. He tells these same two fucking
going to
stories.
have to talk fast. We have to, Shinzo, we have to talk. He said, I know.
It
Because
seems
he
like that's the
understood
response from a
it was
lot of
just
leaders.
unfair.
They know that
They know.
The gig is up when it comes to the relationship.
You know where they
that
really
they've
know,
had.
though, is on favored nation drugs.
Yeah.
Because for years,
Oh dear.
we've been paying sometimes for a pill $100 and they're paying $10. And I say, what's this all about? And now the drug companies
What's it all about? Europe.
agree that I'm right. And the countries, if they don't agree,
Also, this has a lot to do with the fact that their parliaments or their healthcare systems allow them to buy in bulk from these and negotiate for these prices the way we don't. We have, like, our own government, especially the right wing in our government, has forced everybody to pay full price for the benefit of having these drugs in the first place.
I'll use tariffs to get them to agree. You understand?
Yeah.
And
Nope.
we're going to be reducing drug costs over the next year and a half by not 50 or 60%, by 1,000%.
Hold on. Wait. They're going to pay us to take drugs? Ding, 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 ding. Yahoo! It's a celebration. No, you're not.
Because if you think a $10 pill going, so it'll be raised up from 10 to 20 because it's the world versus us. So the world is
The world versus us. It's you and me against the world.
a bigger place. So it'll go from 10 to 20. It won't go from 10 to 50 or 60 for them, which is bearable. And
Sure.
it'll go from 10 to 20 for us.
Sorry, what? Sorry, real quick. So our your deal is everybody's price is doubling. They're going from $10 to $20, and so are we. God damn, you know what? I always thought math wasn't my strong suit, but all I know now is that it just all you do is have to sprinkle a little bullshit and magic right on top of that. Run that by me again. What's the math on this again, dipshit? So, because it's a little
20, because it's the world.
Okay, sorry.
Or 60% by 1,000%.
He's going to lower drugs by 1,000%. So, it's $10. They're going to pay us $100 to take a $10 pill. That if math serves, so that's how it's going to work. And if it lowers it 1,000%, the drug companies are going to have to pay us $100 to take the drug. Okay.
Because if you think a $10 pill,
I am thinking
so it'll be raised up from 10 to 20 because it's the world versus us. So the world is a bigger place. So it'll go.
I've heard that. I've heard that the world is bigger than us because we're in the world.
From 10 to 20. It won't go from 10 to 50 or 60 for them, which is bearable.
For them. So it's going from 10 to 20 for them. And then for us, we're getting 1,000% cut.
It'll go from 10 to 20 for us. So you're talking about
You're talking about doubling the price of drugs in the United States. Asshole.
Monumental change in healthcare. That's going to affect Medicare, Medicaid, even Social Security. It's going to affect everything.
Yeah, it's going to double the cost of it, I think.
That will be one of the biggest things you'll ever see done.
Martha, I know you're doing the math in your head right now.
Because we've been paying for the healthcare of every nation in the world so stupidly.
Click.
Yeah, we don't care about people, asshole. Jesse Waters understands that math. He could teach us all how 1,000% cheaper ends up being double. Shit. Okay. Now let's see if we can. All right. Yeah, like Safari's having issues. Hold on one second. So there's a second half to this. By the way, hit the like, share the show. It's Houseparks Mega Worldwide. Yeah, just do yourself a favor. Share the show and subscribe. Okay, here you go. This guy. All right. And this is the follow-up. Trump, these people are crazed lunatics.
You just mentioned the TikTok deal with China, and among the many conversations that have happened in the aftermath of the assassination of your good friend, Charlie Kirk, has been the terrible effects that social media has had on young people. And among the platforms
Yeah, especially TikTok.
that have been spewing this hatred and these cheering people
That's terrible.
about Charlie Kirk's assassination is TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok is primarily where you're going to see it.
So
It gets a boost. Gee, it's almost as if a foreign country wants this kind of awful.
the question is it worth it for the damage that it has done in many ways to our kids?
So I didn't know too much about TikTok.
I just know it helped me get elected. So if some kids jump off buildings or poison themselves eating fucking Tide Pods or try to lick the tire on a moving bus, who gives a shit?
And Charlie actually recommended it to me. He said,
I
you
heard you
should
say
go on
that.
TikTok. But other people too. And I went on TikTok and I really hit big. I mean, I think I had more views than anybody else in the world, actually.
Nope.
And as you know, I did phenomenally with youth, young people, very young people, young voters that typically are Republican. I think Romney got like 6% or something like that. It wasn't so long ago. And I got tremendous, millions and millions
Huge
of
swing.
young kids.
Absolutely.
Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And I give TikTok and Charlie and probably some other reasons, but
China.
we did well. But I got to understand TikTok. You're right. They
So you do understand TikTok.
said negative, but they also said mostly positive about Charlie. I mean,
No, they didn't. No, they fucking didn't.
Statements on TikTok and other places.
Nope, not on TikTok and other places. No. TikTok is a haven for people who are saying he had it coming or dancing on his fucking grave. Without fail, these are the things that spike on TikTok, you fucking weirdo.
Now, you know, look, I saw on Fox and I saw on others some of the quotes that people made that was so horrible. And you say, where do these people live? Where do they come from? They said horrible things about the death of.
Yeah, on TikTok. And they get and even if they have very few followers, they get an automatic boost to the top of the feed because whoever owns TikTok wants it that way.
Charlie. And I guess we just have sick people out there. I mean, even if you didn't like them, you can't say the kind of things that they say. But that was long beyond TikTok. That was
No, it wasn't.
Things that were
So
said.
there's a lot of things out there, and you have this executive order now that we just heard about on political violence and hate speech,
Right.
And you want to make Antifa a terrorist organization.
They are.
You know, do you believe that there is a vast terrorist movement in the United States that people need to be aware of? And is it responsible for Charlie Kirk's killing, for the attempts on your life, for these CEOs that we saw?
No. Like, you can't just lump in the people who allegedly took a poke at Trump with fucking Antifa. These were maggots who were upset with him. Sorry. They're evidence of the spectrum of violence out there, not of a one-sided version.
In New York City, is there something people
You
need
never
to
know,
understand?
You never know, and we'll find out maybe.
You never know. We'll find out maybe. But we'll declare war on a bunch of people.
But in the meantime, we're going to do a big thing with respect to Antifa. It's a sick group. I mean, very, very sick group. We have a
We're going to do a big thing, are ya?
lot of things. They love burning the American flag. I think it's
So?
terrible that they burn the American flag.
Yeah, so do I. But they're allowed to. Because if they can't burn it, then the flag means less.
We're going in and we're saying it incites riots, and therefore you go to jail for 1 year if you burn the American flag.
Horseshit.
That's different than Antifa, but Antifa.
And none of them will go to jail for it. Every one of them will, like, it'll just be and then they'll sue because it's a violation of their constitutional rights, and the taxpayer will buy a bunch of these fuckheads condos.
burns a lot of American flags because, as you know, the free speech got us on the American flag.
Sorry, the what?
Because, as you know, the free speech got us on the American flag. The courts have ruled free speech, so we're going to go on.
What?
A lot of American flags. Because, as you know, the free speech got us on the American flag. The courts have ruled free speech, so we're going to go on an incitement of riots. I saw it the other day.
Worry that this.
Okay, so the idea is that you have the right, and it's part of free speech. You can burn the American flag, but now they're saying if you burn it, you're inciting a riot, and that's an example of you inciting a riot. Even if none occurs or you have no expectation there will be one, good luck.
I saw it the other day on your show. They have an American flag, and a guy starts burning it, and the people went crazy.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like it's maybe it was made of hemp, you know, like an old-fashioned flag, and everybody was just maybe it was like reefer madness
About it, and they ended up rioting all over the place.
I think they were kind of already in process.
So we think that's a reason also. And
No. You're like, nope, that didn't cause everybody to riot. And what are you going to do? Bring somebody in like, you were rioting. Was it because he burned the flag? Fuck no, I was there to do it anyways. All right, shit.
we're going into the courts with that, which is incitement.
Good luck.
Antifa causes tremendous incitement, and the things they say and the things they do are horrible. So
All right, so you're going to go after them for the things they say.
we're going to find out.
You said
Yeah, like the Bundys or fucking Ted Nugent, and you're going to go after people like him too for incitement?
millions and millions of dollars going towards some of these groups for agitation the other day.
They're agitators.
Who are they?
Well,
and
you're gonna
where's the money coming from? Is it foreign entities?
Yeah, you're going to find out, and we're going to.
Yeah, you are. You're going to find out. I don't know yet, but like we're just going to assume you're going to find out. You'll find out. You'll see. You'll see when I see, if I see. I don't know if I'm seeing. Can you see me?
Find out in great detail, and It surprised me that Biden wouldn't have done it because it really became hot over the last 3-4 years. It surprised me that Biden wouldn't do it. But then as I got to know him, first of all, he didn't call the shots. He wasn't calling the shots. But as we got to see what was happening in
Sorry, what? But do you remember who was president in 2020?
Biden's group, Antifa plays perfectly for them, absolutely perfectly.
No, they don't. They don't vote.
But it's a terrorist organization, in my opinion, and we're going to find out. All those questions are going to be answered.
Great. And what happens if you just find out there are a bunch of personal agitators acting out, and if they do anything that isn't violent, they can show up wherever the fuck they want and make as much noise as they want because they have a constitutionally protected right to be an asshole.
Charlie said, that there was no such thing as hate speech. He obviously, no one anticipated what happened to Charlie, but you have always been in favor of free.
What? Oh, God, he might be not saying that now that he's dead. Jesus.
Anticipated what happened to Charlie, but you have always been in favor.
Yeah, he might not be saying that now. He's not saying anything, dummy. He's dead. It's Jesus Christ.
Of free speech.
Yeah,
so do you have concerns about, some people look at this and your critics will say.
Meaning that he, to borrow the sort of a religious idea, that he would have died in vain?
Well, this crackdown is a crackdown on free speech.
It's interesting. I watch your show and I watch others, and
oh, this is not good. He's not gonna. I guess he doesn't want to answer the question.
I see people saying things. They're crazy. These people are crazed lunatics. Even the way they'll answer, it's like you'll see them, and the things they say are really bad, but they look crazy. They're almost crazed.
Right, almost, I guess, is the operative word here. But so you're saying crazy speech is not protected speech, then, is the theory?
Maybe they're drugged out. Maybe they're...
Okay, so they're not responsible for what they're saying?
There's some other problem. But the kind of things you hear, actually, you probably don't put most of them on. But the kind of things you hear are so unbelievable. You wouldn't think, you're a very regular person. I am, too.
Oh my God. No, regular people are not friends with people like Jeffrey Epstein for a quarter century. You fucking turd.
I'm a regular person.
No, you're not. You're a second generation rich kid.
Who would make the statements that they make? Did you see the guy the other day?
Your son posted a picture after Paul Pelosi was attacked of a hammer and a pair of underwear that said, "I've got my Halloween costume ready." What the fuck are you talking about?
Run through all the flowers that put down.
But then again, what he said about these people being crazy or perhaps on drugs, perhaps that applies in his son's case.
Yes. In loving memory of Charlie, this maniac runs through the flowers, kicking them all down and stepping and stomping on them. And fortunately, somebody grabbed him and gave him a rap. But the guy looks like a normal guy. And who would do that? I mean, who would do
an asshole? I don't know. There's 7 million, like weirdos in any given, tri-state area.
Running through these
700,000, I would say. It's like too much. I'm sorry. I'm still doing Trump math.
plants
so
and
that's
flowers.
ruining property. So once you cross the line from just speaking,
it's not the ruining property. It's the concept of doing it. Who would do this?
No, it's horrible.
Yeah, but you can't. We know this, but you can't throw people in fucking jail for the concepts.
People that are
but we have the freedom in this country to burn a flag, but not to ruin, someone's. That's the question. Where do you draw?
Look at him.
The line, I guess. Is
well,
the
you can say the ruination of property because you probably do better with.
Right, that's what she's saying. She's saying, yeah, that guy can be arrested for kicking over a memorial because people put that for a specific. Fuck me.
That because free speech seems to be you're able to do anything.
Except destroy property and attack someone. Yeah.
So you can say, but when I saw this thing, I couldn't believe it. I had to rewind it and say, I love the rewinding. It's without it, we couldn't live without it.
Yeah, it's true. That's what I've said for a long time. Like, I couldn't live without the rewinding.
Action replays in magnified fortune.
Jesus Christ. Oh man, I love the rewinding.
You have to, because sometimes you can't believe it. But
Yeah, so it's amazing. Like on football or something like that.
Action replays in magnified fortune.
Fuck me.
I watched this young guy running through and
saw it
kicking
too.
everything around.
And he
It
had
was
a
all-
T-shirt on that was the same
it's-
T-shirt.
It's just a terrible thing. That's the other thing. They have signs and they're all professionally made. Real protesters make them in their basement. And they're all the same.
Who's behind it? Do you have a gut
Well,
feeling?
it's, you hear Soros. I don't know. We're going to find out if he's behind it. But
Wouldn't you be able to find out fairly easily, one would think? I mean, how long's it going to fucking take you?
it's incitement
Apparently the checks just fly out the door. I've never gotten one, but
to riot. That's a criminal act. And
no, it isn't. A sign is like anybody who makes a sign you don't fucking like is an incitement to riot, unless it says a riot is an ugly thing, and I think it's about time we had one.
people are dying because of it. So it's really, it's death. So
Yeah, that's right. Yes. Pre-printed signs equals death. It's death. It's death. Death is a thing.
we're gonna find out, and it should
We're gonna find out if it's death.
have been done a long time ago.
Let me ask you, as a parent and a grandparent, when you look at these stories, right? This guy, Tyler Robinson, Thomas Crooks, who almost took your life, Luigi Mangione has all these people supporting him. What's your
By
advice
the way,
to parents?
think about Mangione. He shot someone in the back. As clear as you're looking at me or I'm looking at you, he looked like a pure assassin. I was surprised, actually. You would have thought this guy would have been at a central casting in the movie, and maybe he was.
What? He looks like a Menendez.
But he think of what he did. He openly, it's not like, gee, there's a question. If there's a question, you can understand it, maybe.
Why? What are you talking about? Are you saying there's a question with Tyler Robinson, you fucking weirdo? What? So it's extraordinary because of the proximity?
But there's not a question. He walked up to a man, didn't give him warning, didn't say turn around, didn't do like the Old West where you have a gunfight, you each have a gun.
Yeah, you're right. It didn't actually end up like the Old West. I can't imagine why.
He shot him right in the middle of the back, instantly dead. And now he's like, I'm watching, the girls are going crazy for him. This is a sickness.
What are you, jealous?
This is, this really has to be studied and investigated. It's not possible.
And these
Sorry, you're going to study and investigate what precisely? That people decide they like him or something? What are you going to do? Fucking have everybody hypnotized? What the fuck?
people are all allegedly, at this point, they're all in the process in the Department of Justice. But what would you say to parents who are worried about kids getting deep into these holes on the internet, spending too much time gaming?
They should be worried. You know, when you look at the picture of Charlie, I didn't see it. I didn't want to see it. You know, I specifically, they told me what happened. I would have never made a good doctor. Okay? I'm not,
He's squeamish.
I don't like the blood and all of the things. And some
All of the things? The blood and all of the things?
people view that as like, ho hum.
No, they don't. They just can deal with it. They don't yawn. Oh my God.
I was watching something and it was, well, there's a lot worse on the internet and things. They watch this stuff. So that, you know, there is a point at which it really does get to be pretty sick. I specifically said, you know, they had it all teed up. They said,
By the way, what the fuck is happening outside? Listen, there's like, is Charles like yelling at Stephen Chung for getting in the finger sandwiches again? Hold on. Listen.
and things. They watch this stuff. So that, you know, there is a point at which
Like, good. It's okay. I guess that's what the castle sounds like twice a day.
it really does get to be pretty sick. I specifically said, you know, they had it all teed up. They said, I don't want to remember Charlie that way. This was such a good guy. You know him probably very well. I assume you knew him very
did
well,
know him.
right? He was a great guy.
Not as well as you, but yes.
No, but he was a great person. He really was a great person. I actually said, Charlie, someday I think you have a good chance of being president. I think you will be president, maybe. And I think he would have had a great chance. He was very compelling. I've never seen anybody capture a group of people like he captured youth. He captured youth. It was incredible. You know, when I say he was a young guy, but
This whole, like, the youth vote. He captured youth. He was great with youth.
I'm talking about the 20-year-olds and the 18-year-olds. It was like he had a following that was incredible.
You did. Do you?
No, he didn't. Like, it's mixed in there with fucking Crowder and Ben Shapiro and all these guys. He was the only one who organized it into a political movement. So, like, their audience was his audience for those things. He didn't grab them all like fucking Rogan. And he was getting shit tons of money from the right to support TVUSA to replace CPAC because Matt Schlapp was fucking groping dicks all over the place.
You feel, last question for you, sir, because I know you've had a long couple of days. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, you look a little worn.
Do you
I just didn't have the courage to tell you I'm not doing it because I've studied every monument and every painting in the entire UK. And I said, oh, finally I'm doing it. They said, no, you're doing an interview with Martha. Oh, that's great.
Well, let me ask you this.
What? Hold on. What the fuck?
Incredible.
You did. Do you feel, last question for you, sir, because I know you've had a long couple of days. I appreciate your time. Do you
I just didn't have the courage to tell you I'm not doing it because I've studied every monument and every painting in the entire UK. And I said, oh, finally I'm doing it. They said, no, you're doing an interview.
All right, no, he did not study every monument and painting in the fucking UK. He got a tour of the fucking palace, and he's exhausted from walking around and nodding at pictures. He's been studying fucking art at Buckingham Palace, and so he was gonna pass on an interview. Get the fuck out of here.
With Martha. Oh, that's great.
Well, let me ask you this after the last week
But it's
that
an
has
honor
been.
to do it
Thank
with
you. It's
you.
great to
I'm
have
a
you
big
with.
fan.
Great to have you, sir. Do you think it's the responsibility? Is it a role as president to bring people together? Is that
That's adorable.
part of the job?
Ideally. So I get this question so much, and when you see the kind of hatred out there, it's like unbelievable. And
It's actually completely believable. You were friends with Jeffrey Epstein for a quarter century. It's believable.
probably always been there. We just don't realize it.
No, it's you. It's not always there. No, other people didn't bring this shit out. There was been division before, but nothing like this, and it's all you, asshole. And when you're gone, no matter how much MAGA wants to gin up this battle, it just will not have the same oomph that it does when you're traipsing across the fucking planet. It just won't. You're a special kind of asshole, sir.
But I saw it starting with President Obama. I saw tremendous hatred. I saw
Yeah, by people around you for a black president.
levels that we've never seen before.
Right. I wonder what was special about his presidency that was different from other people's, because he's a pretty laid back guy overall. You know what I mean? Say what you will about Biden's fiery speech in Philadelphia, but Obama was pretty middle of the road in his remarks most of the time. President for all people kind of thing.
And
you got upset about it.
with Biden, it got far worse, just far worse when you look at what happened this last.
Was there anything between Obama and Biden that may have been the cause of why that ratcheted up? I'm trying to think.
4 years has been terrible. But during my term, we had tremendous economic success.
Nope.
And just before COVID, I was getting calls from people that you wouldn't believe, people that you know very well, but people, I would call them the radical left or certainly the left.
No. Senators have to talk to you when they're trying to do bipartisan bills. It's not because they like you. It's the power of the office, you self-involved asshole.
More so than what we would think of as a traditional Democrat. And they wanted to get together. Remember that just before COVID, we had to handle the...
Who? Bernie? Why? Because you're you're tossing around faux populist horse shit, and it lines up with some of his faux populist horse shit. So there was some overlap in faux populist horse shit. Just we differ in methodology, but we're going for the same group of people.
COVID, I think we did a great job with that, but it was
Do you? Because no.
COVID. It was the whole world was thrown asunder, right? The whole world went.
Still
Yeah, by a hoax, obviously.
recovering in a lot of ways as an economy.
Are we? We're still. Oh, Martha, don't say that. Don't say we're still recovering as an economy. It was all Biden's fault. It should have been fixed immediately.
In many ways, young people are recovering because they missed
They're in the basement,
a piece of their
gaming.
life. Yeah, no, a piece of their life was taken away. I
Yes,
wonder what
that's
it would
true.
be like if we didn't have that horrible thing that took place.
I don't know. There was a tuberculosis epidemic, and there weren't public schools in the fucking country at all at one point, and families lived in small villages scattered across the fucking country. There are places in Appalachia where there's nowhere to go, even if you can go outside. The fuck are you talking about?
And it came from a certain place, and it was a terrible thing. It was a terrible thing. But
Oh, you mean the country with your best friend running it, Xi Jinping, who you say you have a great relationship with? What's that great relationship based on?
if you think about it, when this happened, all of these things happened, and they all happened at once. And you do wonder, what would it be like? We would have had I think we would have had a different world, but.
Right, but you don't get to pick just like the easy run. Everybody gets, nobody gets to skip history, asshole. You're uniquely unqualified for anything that might be out of the ordinary, so it wouldn't have mattered.
But
Literally, COVID saved him from the news of his recession caused by his economic policy in the final year of his presidency, the last time.
it's very sad. It's very sad. What I would say is this, success brought people together. And I think the only thing
Yes, the success of COVID. Everybody was brought together at home with their family members, isolated from the rest of the world.
that's going to bring them is tremendous success, and that includes economic success.
Sorry, what other success are you in charge of? Emotional and relationship success? Physical fitness? Fuck are you talking about? Sorry, governmental success?
Calls from people, Martha, that you would not.
Martha?
If I told you some of the people, and I'll tell you if you want later, but I don't want to give them any publicity because they went bad as soon as things started going a little bit differently.
So it's bullshit, is what you're saying. That they didn't actually do that. And they will say, no, I didn't actually talk to him. He's out of his fucking mind.
But people wanting to get together.
Are the left-wing people that called you in the room with us right now?
Wanting to have lunch, wanting to talk. It was amazing, actually. And I say it, and I say it loud and clear. I think the only thing that's going to bring us together is tremendous success.
Well, then, so we're doomed, I see. All right.
Mr. President, thank you very much for your time.
Very much.
Good to be with you.
Thank you,
sir.
very much. Appreciate it.
Click here.
Yikes. What blather. Oh my God.